All right. So, well, thank you for joining me. My name is Laurel Marcassini, and I am sadly, your sales rep, and I'm here to show you how to use the portal. And Steve asked me if I would really just go through how you log in, how you see your children's assignments, how the students complete their assignments, and how you message back and forth to your child's catechist. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to share my screen and you're all going to disappear. So as I said, if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and just interrupt me and say, hey, Laurel, I have a question. Can you stop for a second? Okay, so here we go. Now, Christ in Us has two components. There's the print book, so you all have your book that your children will use. And then there's the Christ in Us portal that is used with the print book. And when you first log into the Christ in Us portal, what's going to happen is, and you might not have gotten it already, all of the catechists have been input into the portal. All of the students have been input into the portal, and all of you parents have been linked to your children in the portal. The reason we use a portal instead of just sending out emails is for safety, that we have information about children in our portals, and for security reasons, this is the only way you can access the assignments and the information, because we don't want to push anything out into the World Wide Web, anything that can be hacked. So we don't use your Gmail accounts or your Yahoo accounts or your Google accounts or whatever it is that you have. You must every week, and I suggest several times a week, log into your portal. The one email you will get that is an actual email to your home email address is something that Lucy will push out to you. And you may have already gotten them, but it would be a welcome email. Can somebody shake their head and let me know, have you gotten the welcome emails? Okay, I've gotten a couple of yeses. Okay, so if thank you, you've gotten the welcome emails, and in that email, you will find embedded a link. That link is specific to your parish. So you can't just go in and type in on your computer christinus.com and expect to be able to put in your username and password. It will only work on the link that's specific for your parish. So be sure you bookmark that link, save it in your favorites, and that is the link you will use and your children will use. It's the same link all of you will use for your specific parish, but not the kids in the school. They have a different link. Okay, once you get in, you put in your username and password, and I am going to log myself in as a parent. And I say that because for those of you who are parents and also are catechists, you have two different usernames. There's different functionality for a parent than there is for a catechist. So for those of you who are both, remember what hat you've got on, and whatever hat you've got on, that's how you log into the portal, because you log in a different way as a catechist than you do as a parent. So I'm logging in as a parent right now. Before I see this screen with the numbers on it, I must first accept all terms and conditions. So I've already done that, so I won't see that again. But if you haven't logged in yet, when the first time you go in, you must accept the terms and conditions. Now, when I log in, after I've accepted the terms and conditions, I will see the grades of my children. Most of you will only see the grades of whatever children are in your family. Because I'm also logged in as a catechist, I see every grade. And that's because as a catechist, I have access to the activities for every grade. But if I was not a catechist and I only have a second grader and a fourth grader, I'm only going to see the 2 dot and the 4 dot. And then once we log in, I want to draw your attention to the top left corner. See this gray box with the 3 lines? We call this gray box with the 3 lines the hamburger, because we think it looks like a hamburger. So you click on your hamburger, and when you click on your hamburger, you can go down to My Account. When you click on My Account, it's going to give you the information that Lucy or Steve gave you when he first, when they first put you in the system as a parent. Here you can change your username and you can change your password. And you can see what your password is by clicking on the eyeball here, and it will make your password be seen. So you can change your username and password, and don't worry, it will automatically change in the master account. So you could change your username and password every week if you want, and you don't have to let Lucy know. She will have access to whatever your latest username and password is. The only reason she had to give you one to begin with was so that you could get in that first time and log into your account. This is also where you can create an avatar. All right, I suggest that when your children log in for the first time, again, they will have their own username and password different from yours. I suggest they all change their password, probably keep their usernames, but change their password. And maybe that first week, build an avatar so that they have something fun that they can do right off the bat. And that little gray person up next to the hamburger will be the cartoon character that they create for themselves. Okay, so that's where you find how to log in. Now I'm going to click back on the library, and that will give me my grades again. Okay, so I am a fifth, in this particular instance, I am the parent of fifth graders. So I'm going to click on grade 5. And this is where I would see, as a parent, I would scroll down and I have access to different family spirituality that you might want to check out, different parent resources that are available to you. And this is where you would see messages between your parents, your child's catechist, and maybe Lucy or Steve, if they're sending messages out to everyone. You would see any messages here on the landing page, and you can scroll down and see all the different messages that are there for you. All right, I do suggest you check out the family spirituality. You'll see things here. For instance, how to use this. This is where you'll also find the table of contents and things like that. But there are different resources that are available to you as parents. And one of those resources, well, first I'll show you some of these: how to read the Bible as a family, how to pray the rosary together, how to keep prayer in your daily lives, things like that. So check those different titles out. And then if you want to teach your children the prayers, I would click on the resources and click on prayers. And all of the prayers here are, you can open them up, you can read them along with your child. They're all the traditional prayers, and then a lot of other prayers that you probably never even heard of. But for instance, if you're getting ready to go to confession with your kids, you can click on the act of contrition. It will pull up so that you and your children can read along with it. And if you want, you can even listen to another child pray the act of contrition.
Oh my God.
Okay, so all of the prayers have an audio component to them, so you can listen to them with your children, and then you can have the kids pray along with this child. All the prayers are prayed by children. Some are older, some are younger voices, some are boys, some are girls. So that might be something fun to explore with your kids. Another thing that I want to show you is in the program overview is, let me click on this, the Getting Started videos. And this is also on your landing page. When you first log in, you're going to see this Getting Started tile. Here you're going to find under Christ in Us Companion. If you click on the Christ in Us Companion and you forget how to use something in the portal, you come to this Christ in Us Companion and drop down here and click on the courses. And if I click on courses, this is where I'm going to find instructional videos on how to do things in the Christ in Us portal that are specific to parents. So if I click on the parents, it's going to show me instructional videos on how to access the portal, how to use the home guide, how to do the mini tasks, how to message with your parents and with your child's catechist. So there are different things, and they're very short little videos, and they're there for you to always use for reference. If you forgot how to do something, just go to those courses, and underneath the video are some quick cheat sheets that you can refer back to if you don't want to watch a video. If you'd rather just read how to do something, you can scroll down and take a look at that. All right, so that's how the getting started videos work. All right, so now I'm going to scroll back up. I'm going to show you when you're in a unit and in a lesson. So say we're starting with lesson 1. I click on unit 1. I click on lesson 1. And down here, I have access to different videos that I can watch with my child. If I watch the video, there's a video for every single lesson for every single grade. They're very short. They have one little thing to do with that particular lesson, and it's not a teaching lesson. It's just something that has to do with that particular chapter. And this one's only 1 minute and 25 seconds long. They're all age appropriate. The 6th grade ones are a little more mature, and the younger kids have little cartoons, and they're super cute. And then there's always an activity that goes along with that video. So you can pull up this activity after you watch the video, and there will be something that we ask you to do that had something to do with what they saw in the video. Also, at the end of every chapter is we learn about a saint. So for every saint, there's also a video about that saint. So this one is 1 minute and 43 seconds on Saint Ignatius of Loyola and how he was a witness to his faith. And then there's an activity that goes along with that video. So see, they're the same colors. This activity matches this video. This activity matches this video. All right, you're also given an opening prayer, and the faith words is just the glossary that's in the back of their book. The mini task is something that can be assigned by your child's catechist, and it's more of a project than just answering questions and things about what they learned in the chapter. So that's what you get with each chapter in the book. There are also video lessons, and these video lessons are actual catechists teaching the lesson to your child. Right now, we've just got lessons 1 and 2 in because we're just starting to put these in the portal. But these are actual master catechists who are, if you don't want to homeschool and teach your children this lesson, you can have this master catechist teach the lesson to your children in 3 different steps. So first you encounter, that's the prayer experience. Then the accompany is the actual catechist teaching a lesson. And then how do we witness to our faith? So this is a tool for you to use, because I know this year, while we're in remote learning, you're really doing homeschool, but with the guidance of a catechist. So the catechist will tell you every week what chapter they want you to be working on, what lesson they want you to be working on. And you can use these master catechists as something that your children can watch to actually teach the lesson to the kids. Otherwise, you have the tool of this home guide, and I'm going to click on the home guide and show you that for every lesson, we are giving you, the parents, the tools to teach your kids. We know that a lot of parents feel a little uncomfortable teaching about their faith to the children because maybe you feel like you're inadequately prepared. So what we've done is we've given you basic information on what you need to teach this particular faith lesson to your kids without sending you a lot of, dogma and doctrine and faith formation articles. And then we understand that many of you have more than one child and they might be in different grades. So we give you tips to maybe take this home guide and tweak it. And maybe if you have 3 kids, maybe you choose the middle grade and you use that home guide. But this home guide will show you how you can go over the lesson with all kids at the same time, because Christ in Us is a spiral curriculum, which means that no matter what grade your children are in, they're learning the same faith topic at the same time. They're just getting into it a little bit deeper as they get more mature. So the sixth graders are studying the same essential faith question as the first graders. However, it's just how deep and how they attack that particular lesson. So you can take this home guide and you can sit down at the dinner table and have your faith formation lesson, your religious education, right at the dinner table. And the page 1 gives you the background on that faith topic. Grade 2 gives you maybe some questions you can discuss as a family. And then it reminds you that there are tools available to you, videos, stories about saints, and family activities that you can do together, and prayer that you can go to the portal and use to enhance that lesson. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can actually go through the steps of actually starting with prayer, asking some questions, having some family discussion, watching the different videos for each of the kids. Remember, all the videos for that lesson will be on the same faith topic, because all the kids are learning the same thing, but it'll just be a different aspect of that. And then page 4 is what we do then as a family and how we witness to our faith. So every lesson has this 4-page home guide that's a tool for you to homeschool your kids with and teach them that lesson. And then I'm sure the catechist will be sending things out to you through the message board, asking you to return some either a lesson test or show what you know questions, which are like little mini quizzes, or that mini task, which is a project. So this is what's available to you for every lesson. If you have ebooks, this is where you'd find the student ebook, but I know that you also all have print books for your kids. All right, so that's how the lessons work. Now I'm going to show you how to find the assignments that are sent to you and how your students will complete those assignments. Do we have any questions on how the book is set up and how the lessons and what you can find in each of the lessons? And before I start talking about the assignments, unmute yourself if you have a question. All right, I do not see any questions, so I'm going to move on.
I'm sorry, this is Miss Lovett. I'm so sorry. I had to find my mute. I missed the first few. I missed the first few minutes, so I just want to make sure that I heard. So Unit 1 and Lesson 1 are where we're going. Unit 2, Lesson 2 is.
No. Unit 1 is lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
So there are 4 units, 4 core units that you'll be teaching your children. Each one of those units is one of the pillars of the Catholic Church.
Okay.
So each unit has 5 lessons. So Unit 1 has 5 lessons, and then Unit 2 would be lessons 6 through 10. And Unit 8 would be on a different pillar. Okay, so that's how, the good question, that's how it's set up. So whatever lesson you're on, that's what you find. Whatever, your catechist will send you a message through the message board and tell you what lesson you're going to be working on your kids with this week, and you go and find that lesson.
Okay.
And lesson 7 will be in Unit 2, and lesson 13 will be in Unit 3, because that's how the chapters are set up. And a lesson is a chapter, so I use those interchangeably.
Okay, thank you so much.
And then that Unit 5 is the liturgical calendar, and I don't know how Steve and Lucy want to tackle that, but my guess is they might ask you when it's Advent to say, do lesson 22 this week instead of 9 or whatever we're supposed to be on, because that's the lesson on Advent. Okay?
Great, thank you so much.
All right, any other questions on how the book is set up and how the lessons are set up? And then if not, I will go into how we find assignments, and then I'm going to log out as a parent and log in as a student, show you how to complete assignments. Pause. Okay, I think I'm ready to move on. All right, so again, I want you to go over here to the hamburger. Remember, the hamburger is where you're going to find everything. So I'm going to click on my hamburger. The library will give you the grades for your children. This is where you're going to find the grades. Some of you will have all grades, and for some reason, even some parents that only have a kid in one grade, the portal is giving you every grade. So just click on your child's grade. All right, then you have access to a calendar. If you look at this calendar, you will see that this is for your own personal use. So if you put something in the calendar, it's not going to transfer to somebody else's. But this is a great teaching tool for your kids as well, because it not only shows the readings for every day, it also gives you whatever color this day is. And I'm going to switch to a couple weeks ago because this is a great teaching week. So here we had Monday was a solemnity or a feast of a martyr, and Wednesday was a special solemnity, a memorial for a special saint. So this is a great teaching tool for you to look at with your kids and not just find today's readings, but you can say, you know, why do you think Monday's red? And what does that mean? Or why is Wednesday white on this week? And of course, you're going to see a lot of purple here during Advent and Lent. So take advantage of the calendar and use that as a teaching tool with your kids as well. When you click on assignments, so this is where, as a parent, I'm going to see that I have assignments and I have graded assignments for my children. All right, when I first, I'm gonna log out too. I want to show you that when you say I have fifth graders, so when I come into my landing page, I will also see all my messages here. And anytime I have a number in a red circle up by my hamburger, that tells me I have something special over here and where they are. So I have 4 assignments waiting for my children and 9 graded assignments, and I have 9 different messages. I already saw the messages down below, but I can click here and also see the messages on a message board. All right, I'm gonna go back to the hamburger. I'm gonna go down to assignments, and I'm gonna click and see that my children have 4 assignments. So I have 2 children in this program right now, and these are all the assignments. So I can filter by child. So I can say, what does Ben have? And then apply the filter. And because these 2 are in the same grade, well, Ben has 2 different assignments. And then Mike also, if I filter by Mike, Mike has also 2 assignments, okay? So you'll see that these assignments as a parent are grayed out. I cannot click on this. This is where I can just see what assignments my children have been given and what the due date is for those students. And I can also see that my students have not started these assignments, okay? I can also see here in assignments that there are graded assignments for my kids. So if I look here, I can see all the graded assignments for all of my children, or I can just go one at a time and say, first I want to see what graded assignments Ben has. So I'm going to look here and I'm going to say, okay, Ben got a 93 on his lesson 4 test. It's blue, which means this is a live link. Anything that you see is blue is a live link. So I can click on this 93 and that test is going to open up. And it's going to show me that Ben completed the test on September 30th, that he got a 93 on it. And I can scroll down and see what Ben got right and what Ben got wrong and where he got half credit for something. And I can also see if the instructor made comments on the open-ended questions. All right, so that's how you can see your children's scores. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go into my graded assignments again. And this time I'm going to pick something for Mike. I want to apply the filter. You always have to apply the filter. And then I'm going to scroll down here and I'll find one that's got some more wrong. So I'm going to click on this 62, that Mike got a 62%. Again, it's a blue, so it's a live link, so I can click on it and I can see all the questions that Mike completed the test on 9/14 and he got a 62%. and what he got right and what he got wrong. And if I don't like the fact, and here the teacher didn't make any comments on the open-ended questions. But if I don't like that Mike got a 62, maybe I want to send a message to Mike's catechist and say, can you reassign this for Mike? I'd like him to improve his score. And the catechist can reassign that particular assignment just to Mike. Okay, so, and then there's the message board. So if you log in the message board as a parent, you will see that the message board works exactly the same way as as an email, except you don't have to know anyone's email address. If you can see what you sent, any drafts, what you've thrown in the trash basket. But if you want to send a message, you can compose a message to Mike's catechist, and here's the instructor. So all you have to do is know their name. And as long as it's something that's in your system, in the portal, in your class, then you can send that message to Mike's catechist or Ben's catechist, and you can compose whatever message you want. You can add attachments that are available on your computer. You can add pictures. You can add links. You can change the font and bold and italicize and everything else. It works just like an email address, but you don't need to know anyone's email. All you have to know is their name. All right, so that's how you can communicate back and forth with your child's catechist or with Lucy and Steve. So that's how the message board works. Any questions on seeing your child's assignments or on how to use the message board? Be sure to unmute yourself first. Looks like we're good. All right, I'm gonna log out, and now I'm gonna log in as one of my children. So I think I'll go in as Ben. All right, so Ben has to log in as a student to see his assignments. You know what the assignments are, but he cannot log in as on your portal. Now, when a child logs in, Ben is a 5th grader. So again, he doesn't see all those dots. He only sees his grade. And when Ben scrolls down, he'll see here, he also has getting started videos that he can access and look on those courses and find that getting started video. It also will have all the messages here that are there for Ben. You have the capability of also seeing all of those messages. I forgot to tell you that any message that is sent to Ben is also copied on your message board as Ben's parent because of protecting God's children. All right, so nobody can send a message to a student that their parent isn't automatically also tagged on. So any message that your children get, you will get. However, there might be messages that the catechist just send to you as the parents, and it will not go onto the child's message board. Okay, so when Ben logs in, Ben's going to scroll down here. He can see his messages on the right side. He can see his assignments on the left side. All right, Ben can also see all of that by going up to his hamburger. If Ben goes up to his hamburger, he can see his assignments, his graded assignments, and all his messages. All right, so I'm going to go down, and I'm going to click on lesson 10. And when Ben clicks on that live link, remember on your screen, it was not a live link. It was just showing you that he has that assignment. But when Ben clicks on the assignment, it's live. So he can now go into his portal and he can answer these questions. So let's do this really quick. Baptized man and woman promise faithful each other. That's matrimony. The sacrament in which baptized men are ordained, that's holy orders. Chief priest shares the people who have been baptized. I'm just gonna throw this down here. Whoops, didn't drag. So here, this one is drag and drop. And then I'm just gonna say true, 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 because I don't wanna take the time to read these. Now, what if Ben has to go do something and he doesn't have time to finish? He can save his work, he can exit, he can log out of the portal, and when, I'm not gonna log out, but when he logs back in, he will see that this lesson test is still in progress. It will let him know that he has not completed it, it has not been submitted yet, and he can click back into it, and he can start right back up where he left off. As I said, I am just gonna put everything A. And then what if Ben accidentally skipped a question? What does the sacrament of marriage, this would say any answer. So Ben is gonna put that in. And if he tries to submit and he has accidentally skipped a question, this is gonna pop up. It's gonna let him know that he didn't complete all of the questions, so he can continue his assignment or he can submit it anyway. And then he can go down here and say, again, various answers will be in there. You can type it in and then click submit. Okay, after then Ben has submitted it, it immediately lets him know that that's gone to his catechist. His catechist now has a message on his or her message board that says there's an assignment that needs to be graded. As soon as that's graded, that will go back up here and be part of Ben's graded assignments. Ben can see his graded assignments the same way you can see their graded assignments. He can log into his, click on his live link and see what he got wrong. So the graded assignments are live for both the parent and the student, but the assignments themselves are only live on the child's portal, on the student's portal, not the parent's portal. And then all messages can be seen. You notice that Ben only has 4 messages, where on the parent portal there were a lot more messages, and that's because some messages were just sent to the parent and not to the student. So Ben also has access to the calendar and can go into my account and change his username and password and create an avatar for himself as well. Okay, so that's how the students find their messages, find their assignments, and complete their assignments. Any questions on that? Any questions on anything? Because that's pretty much all you have to know, is how to use as parents, how to access the different videos and activities that are in every lesson, how to find messages to it and send messages back and forth to the catechists, how to find your children's assignments, how your kids need to find their assignments and how they complete the assignments, and how you see a graded assignment. And I pretty much covered all of that.
How do you get your child to log on?
How do you get your child to log on? That's a parental lesson.
No, I didn't say that. I said, how do you get your child's log on? Like,
how do you get them to do it? Your child's log on, all of the children have been given a username and password as well. You should have also gotten an email that you might have thought was identical to the first one, but if you didn't, I will let Lucy know that she needs to send an email. Oh, there's Lucy. Hey,
Lucy said it was coming out next week.
Okay, Lucy, unmute yourself. Click on the microphone. Okay.
Okay, yes. Well, after speaking with Laurel yesterday, I think about it, an email was supposed to go out automatically with the parent one, but sometimes we've been told that doesn't always necessarily happen by the system. So I will be sending out an email next week. Pretty much it's going to be the same concept as the way your email is. It's going to, your login is. It's going to be the first letter, first initial of their name, their first name, followed by their last name. But there's going to be cases where there'll be duplicate ones, so we'll have to change. We had to change that. Like we had to put, if there's 2 children in the same families and they both their first name both start with the same letter, that would have been a duplicate ID, so we just put a 1 after one of them. But that information will be sent out in the case where there's going to be a situation like that. You'll know which, I'll send out it specifically to a family like that. Otherwise, the general idea is that the ID, it's going to be first name, first letter of first name, full last name, and then there'll be, everyone will be given the same password, and then you can go in and change it like you can with your parent login. Okay, is that understood?
Okay, so basically Lucy will send you information next week about how to log in, what your children's login username and password is, but everyone uses the same link. So the link you have as a parent is the one that you want to save, and all the different devices that you might be using, you can access this Christ in Us on any device that you can get Wi-Fi, including your home desktop, a Chromebook, a laptop, an iPad, a cell phone, anything that you can access Wi-Fi on, you can save it to that link to the Christ in Us link to that, and you and your children can access it. So it's the same link, it's just a different username and password. And like Lucy said, she's going to give all the kids the same password. So I do recommend that after you go in the first time, you go to that hamburger and go down to My Account and change your child's password so that it's different from all the other kids, and only they can get into their account.
What about if you didn't receive a parent login yet?
I've been responding to many people on the chat. Not quite sure why that happens. If you didn't get it, it could have possibly gone to a spam or junk mail. But as I've been getting messages from people, I've been writing the names down, and I will check tomorrow as why you didn't get it, and if you did.
Yeah, often it goes to spam or a junk folder because your computer is not recognizing support as a name. It doesn't come from Lucy or Steve's office. It comes from support@christinus.com. That's what the link will be attached to, an email that comes from that email address. And so it always goes to spam on my folder, on my computer. So
Thank you.
sure. Any other questions?
What is the exact date that the classes are going to be starting?
Oh, I sent that out before. We're starting the week of October 27th, the last week of October.
And is it anticipated that this entire year is going to be like this virtually?
As of right now, yes.
Okay, thank you.
At least till the end of the year, for sure.
Certain time that the kids log on, or they could log in anytime?
They can log in anytime. That the link is always live, so they can log on anytime. But it's whether or not you're going to have some video classes with the kids, and Lucy can speak to that.
Okay, we don't plan on having like any type of Zoom class like we're doing now, but we are leaving that option up to the catechists for each class, because children will be assigned to a class, as we mentioned, and that will be overseen by a catechist. If the catechist wants to do a Zoom class, but we told her that she would have to check, he or she would have to check with us and check with each one of the parents in the class if they want to do that, so there has to be some permission there involved. But otherwise, pretty much the catechist will be assigning a lesson, and it just has to be completed by the week. So each week
you can go whenever you want, as long as it's done within that week.
As long as it's done within that week, yeah. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you how you want to structure that. You may want to just, pretend like your child's coming to class on a Tuesday afternoon, like they did say, and then set that time aside for them to do this. That's up to you. But as long as it's completed by the week.
And is there
So it will
video?
be one activity a week?
I'm sorry?
It will be one activity per week?
It will be one chapter, one lesson. I mean, what's involved in there, it's up to the catechist to assign what they want to do, what they want to assign in that chapter. But yes, it would be one per week.
Is it a read to yourself, or is it an actual person talking and giving the lesson?
That is, I actually think Laurel can answer to that.
Sure. I mean, if the catechist chooses to Zoom with the class, then that's something different. But then the catechist who's not choosing to Zoom and just sends the lesson out every week and says, this week I want your child to do lesson 7. And by, maybe, the message goes out on Tuesday, the catechist could say, I want the lesson test or the show what you know questions at the end of the chapter that can be done online to be sent back to the catechist by Monday. All of the assignments have a specific time that they are going to be live. And that's why I showed you in the assignments that all of the assignments have an end date where it becomes, it no longer is a live assignment. The child hasn't completed it on time. So every week there will be something on your message board for your kids, and the catechist decides when you do each chapter. Each week a chapter will be assigned, and then they might say, I want you to do the show what you know questions, or they might say, I want your child to return the completed lesson test, or maybe it's a mini task, or maybe it's do the activity that goes along with this video. So there are lots of different things that the catechist can choose to send as an assignment, either through the portal or messaging you, and that's how it will work.
Okay, I had another question. My daughter has an IEP. She has a reading disability. So she takes all the tests and everything with, earphones. Everything is read to her. Is there anything that you guys can tell me that could help her with this? Because with 4 kids and her having this reading disability, it's going to be like me doing the work for her.
Yep, no, as I said, there is, so right here, if you can still see my computer, you can still see Grace and us here.
I see
Okay, I'm going to click on Unit 2, Lesson 6. So say Lesson 6 is assigned to the child. If I go in as, oops, I'm not in as a parent. I'm going to log out real quick, and I'm going to log back in as a parent. So if I'm the parent, so I'm helping my child, so I have to log in as a parent. And when I do that, so I'm in 5th grade, and I said we were in Lesson 2, Unit 2, Lesson 6. On the parents portal, not the students portal, remember there were those, where did it go? Oh, I have to do Lesson 1 or Lesson 2. So say we're in the 2nd week and we're in Lesson 2, I can scroll down here, and if you want to use these are videos of a master catechist teaching your child the lesson. Okay, so this one is, so you can use that, and you can also make sure that if your child has an IEP, that you let the catechist know, because the catechist has a way to limit the number of answers a child has to complete a test. So if they assign the lesson test, instead of there being 5 different multiple choice questions or answers, they can limit it to 2 or to 3 to help the kid. Yeah.
Okay.
And they've been trained, so they know that that's available for them.
And how do I know who's the catechist and who to reach and stuff?
That's good.
That information will be sent out.
I'm actually in the same boat as the other parent. My son is in special ed and he's severely delayed. He's on 1st grade reading level. So I had requested to homeschool him, and pretty much I've been a catechist for 3 years for St. Rose, and like do it on my own. I haven't gotten any feedback. I don't know who the teacher is. I don't know if I'm taking over as I did in the past, or how this is going to work.
The information regarding the classes and who your catechist, that's going to be sent out by next week. Okay, so you'll know who your catechist is. You'll know.
Okay. And again, he's not, again, like the other parent stated, it would pretty much, if he has a catechist, it's going to be me doing the work for him, or I have to sit with him one-on-one, because he's on first grade level, so he can't even read any of the information, nor can he take the tests on his own, nor can he do any of the homework or assignments.
Yeah, it might, and if you communicate that to the child's catechist, I'm sure that, maybe what she or he will have them do is maybe just watch the little 3-minute video that's very child friendly. If for instance,
on top of being severely delayed, he has ADHD. So like him listening to that video and actually grasping and holding enough attention to grasp the information is asking a lot from him.
Yeah, same here. ADHD and reading disability. It should be lots of fun.
This is gonna be a
let me show you that if we're in 2nd grade and we're in lesson 1, and if all you do is go down here and say, let's watch this little, a minute 20-second video on the Bible. I mean, and it's very, very child friendly. It's only a minute and 20 seconds.
Right.
Okay.
Again, they can't be held to the normal standards where they're gonna, meet up with a teacher or complete assignments or take tests. I mean, it's not feasible.
Yeah, but I think, Laurel,
Yes.
I was in on the catechist meeting. I think I'll have this 6th grade this year. My understanding from that meeting and seeing what you showed us on the computer, it seems like there's lots of different resources that you've provided for us. The little click on, listen to the prayer, the little videos to watch. And I think you said as catechists, we can pick and choose what we want the children to do. And then there's plenty more out there that if the parents want them to read. But I guess my feeling is, I don't think the parents are going to be held down to, they've got to complete all this information.
Right.
Like bits and pieces here and there. And it seems very like a little bit laid back and relaxed. The way the way your site looks, to me, it seems kind of easy to navigate, or just, play around with it in the beginning. And then if there's the individual situations, contact the catechist and see what maybe they can do. But I don't think, even the little quizzes that I saw, there's only a couple questions.
Yeah.
Like main points.
Very simple. Yeah. And especially also know that the catechists have the ability to send different things to different children. So the catechists, when they send an assignment, if they say, I want, and I specifically asked them, I said, my recommendation is for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade, you only send the show what you know questions, because those are like 3 or 4 questions that they would answer. And maybe the older grades, they would choose the lesson test, which is 10 questions. But even for kids with special IEPs, the catechist can exclude certain children from getting an assignment, and they can choose something else just for those students. So it doesn't have to go out to the entire class. It can, but it doesn't have to. And the catechists know how to do that, because I did train them on that.
Okay.
Okay, so don't worry. It's really very simple. And I think even the children with ADHD and IEPs are really going to find this very interactive and fun to use, because nothing's really long. Like all the videos are less than 2 minutes long, and they're very child engaging.
So how long does it take to complete a lesson technically?
It depends on what the catechist wants you to do. It could just be so much as a parent, going onto that home guide and just having discussion with the kids, and talking about that particular faith topic over the dinner table. Maybe that's all it is. And then returning back whatever the catechist asked them to do. And then certain kids, obviously, and parents are going to be much more involved and go through every page in the book. But pick and choose as a parent. Pick and choose what you want to cover with your kids on that particular faith topic. The chapters in the book are very short, because they were intended to be for only a 30 to 35 minute class, with extra activities added. And so all those extra activities you don't even have access to, only the catechists do. So the lessons are designed to be extremely short.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any other worries? Laura?
No, I was just gonna say, I would think, I don't want my parents to feel like they have a lot of work to do with the kids. You can do it on your own time. Or like you said, sit down when the child would have been at St. Rose for CCD. So I think that's kind of a plus at this point. It would be nice to be together with the kids, but on the other hand, I think this is a great tool that we are using. Plus, they'll have the book and then they'll have the computer. Some kids like to click on buttons and do all that. Other kids might want to flip and see. So I'm hopeful that this will be, will work this year.
And remember that there are a lot of things for you as parents to explore your faith on the portal, on the parent portal, and find, watch some different videos that are specific to parents, because we want you to grow in your faith as well. Because when you grow in your faith, then your family grows in faith and your children learn their faith. And so that's really important that we added a lot of extra features special for parents.
I have a question. If my child's in a sacramental year, so I guess he'll be doing it in person, would he have access to this as well, or no?
Yes, everybody has. Lucy, you put all of
What
the.
is that? I'm sorry, Laura. What is he, a second grade?
Yes.
Yes, second graders will be coming in for class, but they'll be using this same system. They'll still be using this. Just that they're going to be in class with the teacher and working on the same chapters, and then anything that teacher decides to assign at home for them to work on at home, they'll still be able to log into the portal and do that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And since you asked that for a second grade parent, I am in right now as a second grade parent. And if you click on the resources for second grade parent and scroll down, you're going to see something that's special just in the second grade book, and that's sacramental preparation. So there's extra information here for preparing your child for First Communion and First Reconciliation as well. And that's in the second grade parent view under resources.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? All right, well, then I am going to stop the view. I want to thank all of you for joining me tonight. I wish you the best of luck this year. I know it's a crazy year and it's just one more digital thing that you've got to do with your kids, but hopefully they'll find Christ in us to be engaging and easy to use, and you will as well. And if you have any questions, Lucy can get those questions to me, or Lucy, you're free to hand out my contact information too. And
I have a question. I'm so sorry. I couldn't find the unmute button again.
Okay.
So if we have questions or concerns regarding the plans or getting something submitted or anything like that, I saw somebody ask in the chat as well. Do we have a teacher that we could reach out to contact?
Lucy?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, your child is assigned to a class that's overseen by the teacher. So yes, you will be able to email that teacher through the portal, message the teacher, ask any questions to that catechist. And then if the catechist doesn't know the answer, they'll probably refer you to us in the office.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'm just checking to see. It looks like people did put questions in the chat. I now can see it. It looks like everything is being addressed. Okay, is there anything in the chat box that I'm missing that I need to answer? It looks like it was a lot of people just saying I need the welcome email.
Yeah. I've been answering as many as I can.
Okay, thanks, Lucy. Like, okay. All right, well, and like I said, any one of you can email me. Lucy, feel free to give my email out. You can email me and ask me if you've got any questions, if you run against a problem. If I can help you, I will. If not, I can give you a number to tech support, but most of the time I can help you. Isn't that right, Lucy?
Yes, she's been very helpful.
Most of the time I can answer the question. I can figure out why it's not working. And most of the time it's because the child is actually going in as the parent. And I've gotten a lot this week of I see the assignment, but it's not live. How come my kid can't open it? And I said, because you're on your portal instead of your child's portal. Things like that. Like I just automatically know what's going on. So it's new. It's going to take some getting used to. But, you know, it's very user-friendly. I think you guys will like it. And that's it. So I've recorded this session, and I'll send the recording to Steve in the morning. It takes about 45 minutes. Oh, somebody's asking a question from an iPhone? Nope. Oh, maybe somebody just jumped in. All right, well, that's it. I'll send this recording to Steve, and he'll get it out to you sometime tomorrow, I'm sure. And good luck this year. And happy teaching of our faith. And thanks for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.